we living life. What up, now, man? Y'all know I love y'all, man. Nah, man, TV, I y'all, man.
This was supposed to be just another routine traffic stop, but within seconds, it turned into something that people can't stop watching. A camo-wrapped Cybertruck, a well-known name behind the wheel, and body cam footage that's now spreading fast because what actually went down here is raising more questions than answers. King Harris cruising through Peachtree Corners in a vehicle that looks like it belongs on a lunar battlefield. But instead of a space suit, the heir to the Grand Hustle throne is rocking a bright yellow, full-body Pikachu onesie. Gwinnett County police officers were patrolling near Holcomb Bridge Road when they spotted something that looked like a glitch in the Matrix. It was King's Tesla, wrapped in a camo pattern that ironically made it the most visible object in the entire state of Georgia. The officers did not just stroll up to him, they had to floor it.
Good evening. My name is Officer Lopez of the Gwinnett County Police Department. Reason I'm pulling you over is you're doing over 70 miles an hour in a 45.
According to the official report, the patrol unit had to hit 80 miles per hour just to close the gap on this stainless steel beast. When they finally got him to pull over at the intersection of Peachtree Corner Circle, the vibe was instantly level 10 tension. The officer walks up, flashlight shining through the window, and what does he see? A 21-year-old in a cartoon outfit, a handgun sitting right there on the dashboard like a paperweight, and an open container of THC just chilling in the center console. At this point, the food run narrative King tried to spin started to unravel faster than a cheap sweater. This is where the body cam footage gets spicy. The police, seeing a firearm within arm's reach of a very agitated young man, did what they are trained to do. They ordered him out of the vehicle, but King wasn't not having it. He started questioning the legal basis of the command, asking, "You want me to get out of my car to talk to me? About what?"
I don't, tell me why.
I already told you what.
You didn't
Pennsylvania.
They cited Pennsylvania versus Mims, which is the Supreme Court precedent that says, hey, if we pull you over legally, we can tell you to step out for our safety. King's response? He claimed he did not feel safe. He stayed planted in that seat, refusing to move, essentially turning a speeding ticket into a willful obstruction charge in real time. One of the most viral moments from the clip is King looking the officer dead in the eye and asking, "Did it make you feel tough? And what happened at home with y'all?" Talk about a lack of filter. The young rapper was treating the Gwinnett PD like they were annoying fans asking for an autograph instead of law enforcement officers with handcuffs. Just when things could not get more dramatic, the king of the South himself, T.I., pulls up to the scene. Now we have seen Tip play the role of the protective father before, but this was different. This was not a post on Instagram Live from the comfort of his living room. This was boots-on-the-ground intervention.
You need to get out of the car.
You're not telling me
If you
why.
do not get out of the car, you'll be arrested for obstruction.
The body cam captures T.I. questioning the officers about the necessity of the arrest. You can see the shift in energy when the elder Harris arrives. He is trying to be the voice of reason, but he is also clearly frustrated. He asked the officers point blank if his son expressed fear for his safety. T.I. has spent years trying to instill a sense of aristocratic pride in his children, often telling them they should not level down to engage with people who are not on their economic tier. We saw this during the 2022 Waffle House incident where King threatened to pistol whip a cook over some pickles.
First of all, that wasn't cooking my shit.
T.I.'s response back then was that his son should not have even been engaging with someone at that level of life. But here in Gwinnett County at 1:15 a.m., that philosophy hit a brick wall called the Georgia legal system. You cannot level up out of a lawful command from a police officer, no matter how many platinum records your dad has. The friction between the Harris family's royal branding and the mundane requirements of the law is reaching a boiling point. If this was just about a Pikachu onesie and some back talk, King probably would have been home in time for breakfast with a light slap on the wrist. But things took a dark turn once they got to the jail. During the custodial search, that was the thorough pat-down they do before you get processed into the system, officers allegedly found a pill, and not just any pill. A little blue souvenir that authorities identified as oxycodone. For those who do not speak lawyer, that's a Schedule II controlled substance. In the state of Georgia, possession of oxycodone without a prescription is a felony. It does not matter if it was 1 pill or 100. You are looking at a potential prison sentence of 1 to 15 years. The defense cannot really use the fruit of the poisonous tree argument here because administrative safety searches at a jail are legally protected. If that pill was on him when he walked through those doors, the prosecution has a very strong hand to play. This is not just a wild child acting out anymore. This is a serious legal entanglement that could have long-term consequences for King's freedom. Let us talk about the King's response. While most people would be calling their lawyers and keeping their heads down after a felony drug charge, King went straight to Instagram. He posted photos of himself in that yellow onesie with the caption, "Welp, guess you can say they caught da Pikachu with a master ball."
Niggas dissing, I ignore, but my angels, they go form. Niggas speaking on my mama, I tell.
After posting Bond, he shared a video of himself driving a go-kart, still in character, shouting, "Man, Pikachu is free, fact Team Rocket." By casting the Gwinnett County Police as Team Rocket, the bumbling villains from the Pokemon series who are always trying to steal rare Pokemon, King is effectively delegitimizing the law. In his mind, and the minds of his millions of followers, he is not a defendant in a drug case. He's a rare, legendary being targeted by incompetent hunters. King is turning a judicial event into a content stream. He was gamifying his own legal trouble to maintain his outlaw brand. But as many critics have pointed out, there was a profound detachment here. Non-celebrity kids in Georgia do not get to joke about Team Rocket when they are facing 10 years for a pill.
Yeah, man, we living life. What up now, man? Y'all know I love y'all.
The luxury of defiance is something King seems to have in abundance, but the question is, how long will it last? To understand why the Gwinnett PD was so quick to pull the trigger on an obstruction charge, we have to look at King's track record. This is not a one-time mistake. This is a pattern. 2022, the Waffle House standoff. We all remember the video. King standing on the counter screaming at employees about pickles and threatening violence.
You make, I can pull out my pocket right now. I ain't tripping on you. I ain't tripping. Get the hell out of my face.
It was the first real sign that the young heir had a hair-trigger temper. 2024, the Dunwoody gas station incident. King was arrested after nearly hitting a police cruiser while pulling out of a gas station. During that stop, officers smelled weed and found an outstanding warrant for failure to appear from a previous case in Pickens County, the Pickens County saga. That 2022 speeding and DUI charge dragged on for years because King simply didn't show up to court. The charges were eventually dropped in 2025, but the message was clear. Court dates are suggestions, not requirements. We also have to consider the headspace King was in leading up to this arrest. For the past few months, he has been locked in a vicious digital war with 50 Cent, and we know 50 is the king of online trolling, but King Harris decided to take it to a place most rappers won't go. In February, King dropped a diss track called Say Less. In the video, he was wearing a t-shirt featuring a photo of 50 Cent's late mother, Sabrina Jackson. The lyrics were even more brutal, telling 50 to dig her up. This was a total violation of the street code that says parents are off limits. Tip found himself in a weird spot. He told the media he was proud of his son for defending his mother, Tiny, after 50 Cent posted some unflattering memes of her, but he explicitly condemned the use of Sabrina Jackson's image. This shows the generational gap in the Harris household. T.I. still believes in certain boundaries, while King believes in total digital scorched earth tactics. The stress of this high-level beef, combined with the pressure of living up to the Grand Hustle legacy, might explain why King was flying down the road at 70 miles per hour in a camo Cybertruck. He was a young man under a massive microscope, trying to prove he's just as street as his father was, even though he grew up in a mansion. Can we talk about the car for a second? The Tesla Cybertruck is already the most look-at-me vehicle on the planet. Wrapping it in camouflage is the ultimate paradox. It's supposed to represent stealth, but in a suburban neighborhood, it's a giant geometric pull-me-over sign. Statistically, these vehicles are magnets for police. Their radar cross-section is unique, and their acceleration is so fast that a driver can hit superspeeder status without even realizing they have pressed the pedal. King told the officers he was just on a food run and did not realize how fast he was going. While that might be true, the drifting between lanes and failing to signal suggests he was either distracted by his phone or perhaps something else found in that center console. The reaction to this arrest has been split right down the middle. On one side, you have the Free King crowd, mostly young fans who find the Pikachu onesie hilarious and see the police as haters who are targeting a celebrity. They love the Team Rocket narrative and think King is a legend for being so unbothered. On the other side, you have the critics who are tired of the entitled celebrity kid trope. They point out that King's behavior during the stop was dangerous. If there was a gun on the dash and you are refusing to get out of the car, you are creating a situation that could turn deadly in a heartbeat. They argue that if King weren't T.I.'s son, he wouldn't be making Pikachu jokes on Instagram. He had been sitting in a cell wondering how he ruined his life over a pill. What King does not seem to realize is that the clout he's gaining on Instagram is the exact thing that could hurt him in front of a judge. Georgia prosecutors are notoriously tough on drug possession, and super speeder fines are just the beginning. When a judge sees video of a defendant mocking the arresting officers and treating a felony charge like a game of Pokemon, they aren't usually inclined to be lenient. King is playing a high-stakes game. He is betting that his fame and his father's resources will insulate him from the consequences of his actions. But as we've seen with other celebrity families in Atlanta, the law eventually catches up, and the Pikachu onesie might be the last funny thing we see from this case for a long time. So, what's the bottom line, cousins? Clifford King Harris III is at a crossroads. He's 21 years old, he's got the world at his feet, and he's got a father who will show up at 1 a.m. to bail him out. But he's also facing a felony charge that carries real prison time. The body cam footage shows a young man who is profoundly disconnected from the reality of his situation. He sees himself as a character in a game, while the Gwinnett County PD sees him as a high-speed, reckless driver with a firearm and a Schedule II substance. Will the master ball of the Georgia legal system hold him, or will King wiggle free once again? Only time and a very expensive team of lawyers will tell. But one thing is for sure, the camouflage Cybertruck might be parked for a while, and that Pikachu onesie belongs in a museum of celebrity bad decisions. Stay tuned, because as we know with the Harris family, the story never ends where you think it will. We'll be watching the court dates and the Instagram stories to see if Team Rocket gets the last laugh.